Hey, I'm Lawrence and I am doing the upper limb of the exercise that we're showing in this video.
I'm Billy and I'm doing the abdominal muscles and the lower back muscles of this exercise.
Hey, my name's Darcy and I'm doing the neck muscles and the upper back muscles of this exercise.
Hello, my name is Tupperware and I'll be doing the lower limb for this exercise.
Today we're going to be doing the standing contralateral toe touch. This exercise will be demonstrated by Darcy.
During the standing contralateral toe touch, the upper limb muscles work to help flex the arm to be able to reach towards the toes using your fingers. During arm flexion, the distal section of the humerus moves anteriorly, meaning it moves forward and up as seen in the demonstration by Darcy. Arm flexion constitutes between 150 and 170 degrees of movement. The opposite movement to this is called arm extension, which is when the arm moves posteriorly. And the main muscles used during arm flexion include the deltoid, using its anterior fibers, which can flex the arm as well as rotating it medially, the pectoralis major, which can flex the humerus as well as aiding in humerus adduction, the biceps brachii, with both its long and short heads, which can flex the elbow as well as supinate the forearm, and finally the coracobrachialis, which is found inferiorly to the biceps brachii and has the function of flexing and adducting the arm at the shoulder joint, also known as the glenohumeral joint.
Within this exercise, Darcy has shown both the abdominal muscles and the lower back muscles contract and extend to allow free movement. In regards to the lower back muscles, one muscle that stands out during this movement is the multifidus muscle. The multifidus muscle travels the whole length of the spinous process of the vertebrae. Its action is to stabilize the vertebrae during any local movements. This helps stabilize the vertebral column and the trunk while the exercise is being performed. In regard to the abdominal muscles, the rectus abdominis, external obliques, internal obliques, and transverse abdominis all work together to both stabilize the abdominal region and allow rotation and contraction to occur in order for Darcy to extend and touch his toes freely.
During this exercise, the neck and upper back muscles work together to perform the movement and help Darcy to extend and reach his toes whilst keeping the spinal and cervical column stabilized. In this movement, the neck undergoes rotation. This can occur as bilateral contraction of the sternocleidomastoid muscles can produce flexion and rotation of the neck, drawing the head towards the chest. To aid this action, the semispinalis contracts to allow contralateral rotation of the cervical region. When the semispinalis contracts on one side, it causes lateral flexion of the spine to the same side, but rotation to the opposite side. The erector spinae muscles are important in this movement as they are dynamic movement producers. The erector spinae contract either concentrically or eccentrically in all movements of the vertebral column. In this case, the spinalis, longissimus, and iliocostalis work synergistically to produce flexion and rotation of the spine to allow Darcy to reach his toes during the action.
During the contralateral toe touch, Darcy is required to flex his femur to reach his hand. The hip flexors and the adductor muscles are largely responsible for this action. The iliac region is recognized as the hip flexion muscles, which contains the psoas minor, which goes through concentric contraction to lift the leg, the psoas major, which also goes through concentric contraction, iliacus, that also goes through concentric contraction. During the hip flexors contracting, the thigh muscles are keeping the knees straight and in an isometric position. The medial adductors are responsible for moving Darcy's leg across his body, as you can see in the video. Specifically, the pectineus that works as an adducting muscle, but also a hip flexor. Other adducting muscles include the gracilis, the adductor longus, the adductor brevis, and the adductor magnus. The medial adductors all work together to move Darcy's leg across his body in a diagonal. On the behalf of our group, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.